And we're following some new details today in the kidnapping and murder of Memphis jogger Eliza Fletcher. NewsNation learning the suspect, Cleotha Abston Henderson, has now been indicted using DNA evidence submitted a year ago in connection to a September 2021 kidnapping and rape case. A 4-page indictment returned from a grand jury just 4 days ago after investigators discovered Eliza Fletcher's body. Court records show Abston is accused of kidnapping and raping a woman with a weapon. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation used a sexual assault kit to connect the dots. That kit was untested from 2021, a spokesperson saying, quote, "The evidence was put in a queue of unknown assailant kits as no request was made for TBI analysis to be expedited, and no suspect information or DNA standard was included in the submission." But when investigators started looking at it, they got the results in less than 18 hours. It's raising questions about if this was yet another example of a tragedy that could have been prevented. So joining us now, Palm Beach County State Attorney Dave Aronberg, who has been following this case. Mr. Ehrenberg, thank you so much for being with us. You know, hearing these new details, this man was out on the street for months, despite being now, we're learning, a DNA match in this 2021 rape. How does that even happen?
There is no excuse, Nichole, for these rape kits to go untested for a year. There was federal money that was applied to the states to reduce this backlog. Here in Palm Beach County, we had a backlog as well, but we went through it by the use of federal money. And I don't understand how Memphis is so slow. They said they had only 4 scientists who are reviewing these materials, and they also review other kits dealing with robbery and assault. When it deals with sexual assault or murder, that should be at the top of the priority list. I don't understand what took them so long here.
And, you know, and of course, we know hindsight is always 20/20, but, you know, the TBI, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, is saying that their time frame for even processing rape kits is 33 to 49 weeks. Is that typical overall, broadly, nationally?
Not anymore. Based on federal funds that were distributed to the states for this purpose, you don't have these kinds of backlogs anymore. So no, I think it's a tragedy. Also, you know, the defendant here was released from prison after serving 85% of his last sentence. So he was released 4 years early, and that also would have kept him in bars. If he spent the entire time in prison, it would have kept him out of the public so that he couldn't commit this latest heinous crime.
And you know, this is the type of question that you hate to ask because obviously we can't go back, we can't reverse time, but is there a chance Eliza Fletcher, this wife, this mother, this teacher, could be alive today if that rape kit had been processed sooner?
That's the real tragedy here. The answer is yes, but it's not 100%, because if that process had happened and if he had been arrested for the rape at the time, he could have still gotten bond. He could have been let out and he could have been awaiting trial. So he would have possibly still been free. But the thing is that once you've been arrested, then all eyes are on you. And that has a way of making you just control your behavior, because you know that if you get picked up for another crime, you're going back into prison and never seeing the light of day again. And so I think there is a real shot that had he been incarcerated for the last horrific crime, that Ms. Fletcher would still be alive today.
And let's go back to the processing of these rape kits. You know, you said that there was this federal funding, but we know that there was still a backlog in many places. This is a prime example, you know, which means that these suspects, these assailants, are free potentially to assault people again and again when the DNA testing kit really is there just waiting to be processed. Is the fix as simple as hiring more personnel to more quickly process these kits?
I think that's a big part of it. Also, you see the quote that was the explanation that said, well, we had an unknown assailant and it was not a priority. Well, what could be more of a priority than to test the kits of rape victims who were attacked by unknown assailants? Because if you don't do that, then there is some person out there on the streets who committed a rape and you're letting that go. And there it is. There's a quote. Unknown assailant kits. I've got to tell you, I think that should be the priority, because when you have a known assailant, at least you can keep the eyes on that person. When it's unknown, there's some random person roaming around our streets who could commit this kind of crime again. And sadly, it looks like he did.
Right. And that's the thing, you know, in that quote saying that the request was not expedited. But as you say, I mean, to any of these victims, that assailant, it should be, I would imagine they think it should be expedited. Every person who is a victim here, I have to imagine, wants their case to be a priority.
Yes, and with federal funds, the backlogs need to be eliminated altogether. There are no more excuses. We should not have any more of these tragedies that could have been avoided. My heart goes out to the family of Ms. Fletcher. This is such a tragedy, and it's compounded by the fact that there were mistakes along the way that may have kept her alive had law enforcement and government and politicians done their jobs properly.
All right. State Attorney Dave Aronberg, we thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.